You're now listening to The Couch on 24/7 Miami with your hosts, Chubby Dubby, Clem December,
Big Clem. December, it's Clem time.
and your boy Coleman.
Coleman, I've had the most absurd nightmare. I was poor and no one liked me.
Let's go.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Okay.
All right, welcome back to the couch. It is October 3rd, and week 4 of NFL is in the books. A lot of exciting.
Week 4 has concluded.
Quarter of the NFL is through the season,
And
quarter way through the NFL season.
Oh, bro, don't even say it
there,
Say hi, Manny, so you pop up on the screen. Oh, this is going to go great.
yep.
Okay, so Manny is
breaking up. Bad communication.
what do we do here? Keep moving forward.
Keep moving forward.
All right, so the NFL played in Wembley Stadium in London and did not put on a very good showing.
All up at 9:30 in the morning or earlier. I actually went to the grocery store first, really early Sunday morning, so that I could get home and watch the Dolphins because I was super excited. The week before, which we didn't have a chance to touch on, didn't really leave me too confident.
Right, and go out the night before because it was.
Just keep going, keep rolling with it.
Manny, you want to jump in here?
I don't even know if you guys can hear me, honestly, and I don't know how to turn that sound off either. So we're just gonna deal with it.
Okay, excellent. Give us your thoughts on the Dolphins game, please.
So you guys can't hear me, okay? I just want to confirm that you guys can't hear me or not because I have no idea.
Yes, we can hear you and that ringing every time.
All right, hold on. I think I'm getting to where. Well, look, the Dolphins. I didn't wake up. I didn't wake up early. I didn't waste my time and wake up, early. I wasn't expecting much, so I'm figuring out how to turn off that sound.
Okay, so moving right along, Cutler was pretty much awful. 164 yards and a pick. No scores. No scores at all. Not from anybody. It was a goose egg.
Until
it was
40 seconds left in the first half.
What?
No scores.
What? The whole game?
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I'm saying from the Dolphins. I'm saying we got shut out.
Yep.
Like a bunch of scrubs. I don't know, man. When was the last time there was a shutout in the NFL? I mean, they don't happen very often. And we're supposed to be this high-powered offense, so that really irked me.
And prior to that game, New Orleans has basically been a sieve on defense.
Right.
Just allowing,
The game wasn't all that good on either side, to be honest with you. I mean, it was pretty boring. I was happy I didn't, waste my time in waking up and doing all that stuff early.
Not a good game. Yeah, at one point the Dolphins had like 11 yards, like 11 second half yards, and it was like fourth quarter.
Do you feel fooled?
And we punted 14 times. It felt like.
I feel like, so remember when during the first half of the San Diego game, when the offense just looked anemic, and then it sort of looked like maybe Adam Gase uncorked it a little bit in the second half. I feel like the last 2 games have reverted back to that first half. Even though the opening drive of the game, it takes forever. It takes, 8.5 minutes for us to get all the way down to the 3-yard line. And then, but I understand that there was a communication issue, But obviously, if you were able to get that play call off, any play, you know what I mean? Like, it was the first thing on the list, and that's why he went to it. You have Jay Ajayi in London, and you call a 5-wide no-back fade to the corner of the end zone to Julius Thomas, probably the worst receiver on the field.
Right, who didn't even look up until the ball was in the defender's hands.
I don't know. I was like a huge proponent, like, hey, Adam Gase, like he's an offensive guru, like he's gonna be able to fix this offense. We have so many weapons, and then we do something like that, and I'm just like dumbfounded.
Right.
Do you think it's fixable? Do you think that you still trust in Gase?
I don't know. I mean, it's only a 3-game sample size, so I'm not ready to just throw in the towel and say he should be fired.
Right.
Game sample size with a lot of circumstances around not having a home game yet, playing in London.
Right.
Before we played the Chargers, we didn't even come home. We spent the whole week in California.
Right.
A lot of unfortunate stuff has happened.
I feel like that happens so often, and everything is based on circumstances, maybe more based on injuries, and we make those excuses as we have in the past, but definitely more circumstances, especially this time around.
Right, and it's the NFL. It's everybody says no excuses, injuries, people got to move right along. We have no Tannehill, whatever. I'm not making excuses for it. I'm also, like I said, I'm not panicking just yet, but I'm observing something, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, putrid.
Well,
and there's only
what point might you feel fooled? I guess I don't know. I just think I bought into Cutler, and Cutler isn't being what we thought he was capable of being, especially in the offense that he was coming into.
Right, he's been here for 2 months. Still only been 2 months.
Right.
And
there's only one team in the NFL that has yet to score a first half touchdown.
Right, and that's us, of course.
Yep.
But they did a couple things right, done early and out of the way, and they did it off U.S. soil.
Right.
Scored a touchdown. Last week was a BS touchdown, and I'm like, if you're really gonna lay up a stinker, really lay up a stinker.
Yeah, I guess.
What I mean, a shutout is.
Yeah, and I would say another thing is that if you look back to last season, we started 1-4, and then we reeled off. We went
6 in a row,
right, and ended up going 9-2 in the last 11 games of the season to make it into the playoffs.
Right,
so,
and also this is given year 2 losses as well. I mean, granted, I know the Bills are 3-1,
right,
but they're still the Bills. As long as I'm looking at the Patriots at 2-2. And we're at 1-2. They're only a half game better than us.
Yeah.
So, if we this out.
Still a lot of football left.
Right. Okay. Going around the rest of the NFL.
Speaking of other football left
to talk about. My most interesting thing that I've got on here is, wow, I think the Rams are good. The Rams are good. Sean McVay is very interesting. He's 31 years old. He's 5 years older than I am, and he's a head coach in the NFL.
He's younger than me.
And he's younger than Coleman here. And he's the quarterback whisperer. He's figured out Jared Goff. Jared Goff looks really good. They've scored the most points in the league. They've scored over 140 points. And they just beat the Dallas Cowboys, who are, 13-3 last year. They're supposed to be the class of the NFC, and
in Dallas,
and they went in there and beat them. So he went in there and beat them.
Yeah, what did he have? 5 field goals?
Seven field goals and 2 PATs. Unbelievable.
27 fantasy points. I
think the Rams are good. What else you got?
Rams. I like that they're really you can tell they're working with Gurley a lot, and they're using him a lot, and he's really good. And he's being that, I guess he's got fresh legs under him, and obviously having the quarterback to kind of you're gonna run first, but having that quarterback presence definitely helps open up the holes.
Yeah, and not having Jeff Fisher as your head coach, I think probably is a
right. Someone who runs an offense.
Right.
Right. Okay. Another one that really caught the eye this weekend was 57-14. The Texans destroyed the Titans.
Yeah, that was crazy. I didn't see at what point Marcus Mariota got hurt.
It was
pretty late,
third
right?
quarter.
Right.
Like the game was getting out of hand already.
Right. I mean, I saw it just on the ticker. You know, I wasn't paying attention to that game. I was watching. I think it was Panthers Patriots was going on at the time. But it's just like every single time they cut the break, it was like Deshaun Watson scored again. Deshaun Watson scored again. I think he had 5 total touchdowns.
Yeah. That was a dominant performance, and how Bill O'Brien never went with Tom Savage in the first place.
I mean, I thought that he was trying to protect him maybe in defense of Bill O'Brien. You don't necessarily just want to throw your quarterback to the wolves right away.
Okay, but do you know when he put him in though?
After the first or second quarter of the first game?
Of the first game. So it's not like he sit and learn.
Right.
And I don't think that that's a decision he made that day either. He knew that he was going to be doing something like that either way. With, you know, if he didn't see anything from Savage, he was going to throw Watson right away. He saw something.
Like even with Mitch Trubisky right now, like I can even understand 4 games. Like let him stand on an NFL sideline for 4 games. Watch how fast everything moves. Listen to his headset. Listen to the coaches make the calls. The guy in there at halftime of the first game. It's like you might as well should have just started him.
Yeah. And
Deshaun Watson, he looks like the real deal. But we'll slow our brakes because we've seen this before in one RG3.
Yeah.
Someone take the league by storm. Didn't really pan out.
Yeah.
Even in Colin Kaepernick's case, and but the main one I thought of when that was brought up was definitely Robert Griffin.
Yeah.
We'll keep it. We'll keep it in the NFL. Okay. Another team that looks pretty impressive is the Bills. We just mentioned that the Bills are 3-1. I did also mention they are still just the Bills, but back-to-back weeks, they have beat the Bills. I mean, they've beat the Broncos and the Falcons.
Right.
So Bills look pretty good. Tyrod, every time Tyrod, we have a special guest on Manny's end. That was his dog in the background.
Bit of breaking news. Speaking about the Bears and Mitch Trubisky, it just came out today, just now, actually, right before we went on the air, that his suspension has been reduced to 1 game for his hit on Devontae Adams.
Right.
How do you guys know that hit, huh?
That was something. It was not only one of the most vicious of helmet to face mask hits I've ever seen. But also the most unnecessary, considering the guy's wrapped up by 2 other guys already.
Right.
So not only was it
completely stopped at that point when he launched himself helmet first.
Right. Yeah. And so it was way late and just the epitome of your helmet.
Yeah. I was surprised that he actually wasn't ejected for it. I understand that it's not a mandatory ejection. It's on the refs, do it or not. But I thought that he was going to get ejected for it.
Let me ask you guys something. I mean, the hit probably, as a fan, you're sitting down on the couch and you're watching this play and you see that hit. You get up and you get excited because it gets you excited, right?
No.
I was grossed out by it immediately.
No.
This isn't the NFL where they're doing jacked up.
Well, okay. Prime example. Norman hit on Travis Kelce last night. That was a perfect, clean hit that got me jacked up. That was a relatively smaller corner, jacking up a larger Travis Kelce. Gave him a nice forearm shiver to the chest, broke up the play. That got me jacked up. Top of the helmet to a guy's jaw when he's in the clutches of another defender. Dude, that was dirty.
And even live, see the mouthpiece come out. You can't tell what else is flying. It's probably spit and sweat, but it looks like it might be teeth. It's just like, this is gross. I don't want to. No, I don't like that.
Once I saw the mouthpiece fly out, I knew it was a serious hit. But I mean, initial hit, you think you get it. I don't know. I can't tell you I didn't get a little excited, but yeah, I mean, upon seeing it, I mean, it looked gross. It was disgusting and it was foul.
Sicko.
Yeah, I mean, we all like that big hit. I mean, seeing it 100 times makes it look worse. Maybe live TV at the first time you see it, you're like, ooh, but
that's how I reacted. That's why. I mean, my initial reaction was that
you replay it, it looks dirty.
It does.
Couple more things before we wrap up this first segment. Chiefs are 4-0. They look pretty much like the best team in football. The defense is pretty good. The offense, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, the offense looks like, I'm not sure it's because of Kareem Hunt or if it's because of Andy Reid all of a sudden feels like he has better weapons. Maybe it is because he has, like, he's finally, like, the potential of the offense. It looks like a really good offense. Whereas before, you would get games out of the Chiefs where they would score 35 points, but usually what they were doing is digging and dunking down the field, 10, 17, whatever. The defense is holding teams to a little bit less.
Right. The Jamal Charles hasn't they haven't had a runner like Jamal Charles since he was Jamal Charles in like 14, because there was a few years where he wasn't quite himself. Right. And then, Charkandrick West and Spencer Ware and the other guys that they've had, they haven't run like Kareem Hunt runs, but give Andy Reid a lot of credit, because even before Kareem Hunt came, I heard this stat last night. And so now, including their win last night, the Chiefs are 30-4 in their last 34 regular season games, or maybe total games, because they probably lost one playoff game, so it'd still make the record sound good. That's crazy. And I heard someone a few weeks ago, it was someone on SportsCenter said that Andy Reid was a better coach than Bill Belichick, and it was kind of a hot take. People gave him crap for it, but what I look at is like, yeah, the Chiefs do just win a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I think they're taking advantage of the offense finally. I mean, they're just taking advantage of their strengths, really, and they're being really aggressive with the run, which is fun. And Alex Smith is doing the best of what he does, which is manage the game. He's really the top tier game manager there is. You can't really get better than Alex Smith when it comes to that.
He has been letting it fly a little bit more than he used to.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will take. And we'll come back with quick hits.
Les Grossman.
We don't get money yet. Price now 100 million. You pay now or tomorrow Simple Jack die.
Great. It's down. 100 million. Oh, wait. I got a better idea.
Stay tuned to the couch on 247miami.tv.
Instead of 100 million, send you a hobo's cheese.
Then you kill him. Do your thing. Skin the
Go to town, man. Go to town.
No.
In the meantime, and as usual,
Welcome back to the couch, everybody. Before we get to quick hits, I would like to just mention, we all know that Puerto Rico was devastated by Hurricane Maria, leaving millions without food, water, and electricity. Motions that we've done for ways to donate have sort of been scrutinized. We don't have to mention names about how they're handling the funds or how they're dealing with money. And be sure that 100% of the donations go to Puerto Rican relief. Visit HispanicFederation.org. 100% of the donations go towards disaster relief and are distributed to local Puerto Rican organizations. That is HispanicFederation.org.
Yeah, not to get very political, but boy, handling this. He is not handling this well at all. Kind of taking shots at the mayor of San Juan, when she's out here doing everything she can.
Waste with a bullhorn looking for people.
Yeah, that's the one shot that I'm literally in my head is her in, water gear up to her chest in water trying to look for people, and Trump's over here telling her she's not doing a good job.
He was actually there today, and
just throwing stuff at people.
He was shooting basketballs into the crowd.
Saying that relatively that 16 people relatively dying isn't, it's not that big of a deal in relation to what happened with Katrina. It was a real good job.
Oh yeah, saying that 16 is a good job compared to what happened to Katrina. That's just
want to avoid that conversation as a whole.
Man,
best
temperature and oh man. Okay. We are going to go to our show staple. It's a favorite. So we get a lot of information across. It is quick hits.
Quick hits.
All right, quick hits. I will like to start with this one, which I find very interesting. It is LaVarr Ball has pulled his son Melo Ball out of Chino Hills High School. He was his junior year, so he still has 2 more years till he can go to UCLA.
Correct.
Homeschool him, which sounds very that sounds great, that he teaching anyone anything. I'm sure he's got a lot of information to provide, but it'll probably just be mostly about training, and he's basically just gonna try and train a basketball player. There will be no education textbook wise.
He said, and this is just an excerpt of what he said, was, "I'm not dealing with that coach over there. I'm not dealing with that administration over there. I don't want no distractions on Melo. So therefore, I'm going to homeschool him and make him the best basketball player ever."
Yeah, right. No distractions.
Which only makes me wonder. I really want to get, I would love to hear details of exactly what it is he has, whatever bone he has to pick with this coach and the administration. I wonder what he tried to get, passed or tried to get away with that, created this opinion of the faculty at what seems to be a fine basketball school.
Well, what I've heard is that the coach wants nothing to do with any of the players who train with LaVarr Ball. So LaVarr Ball's philosophy is LaMelo should be shooting the ball 50 times a game.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess he runs his AAU team where maybe he's just got all the kids convinced that just pass it to LaMelo or whatever he's doing with the kids that train with him. Hills wants nothing to do with them, and I know that's one of the major things.
There was a recent video that came out of him that went viral of LaMelo dunking. I think he's soft and he's skinny. That dunk was soft too.
Okay.
Yeah, well, he's also like 6'1",
and he's probably 15 or 16 years old.
Yeah.
So go fight him, Manny.
Yeah, he's soft and he's skinny. Thank you, Manny. He's 6'1". I'll be surprised if you could touch a net right now.
Oh no, I can't get off the ground.
Okay. Next quick hit, anyone?
Okay, we did not get a chance to touch on this last week, but someone very near and dear to our hearts, Dwayne Wade,
Oh my God.
agreed to a 1-year, $2.3 million deal with the Cleveland Cavs after being bought out by the Bulls.
He got bought out by LeBron James.
He got bought out by the Bulls.
He's gonna get it kicked back to him by it's just whatever.
The way that the buyouts work is that the team and the player agree somewhere in the middle. I don't know exactly, or if they've even revealed what it was, that he would get like somewhere between 22 or 23 million dollars that he was owed.
Yeah, I heard like 12.
Probably like 12, 13, something along those lines. But what it does is it allows him to sign for, the $2.3 million exception that the Cavs still had. He's still making a decent portion of the money. And the problem was Chicago hated him and wanted him out.
Right.
Like he soured with that team so quickly.
And Wade is not in it for the money at this point. I think that, players in this day, I don't know what deal, that deal that Kobe took 25 for his last 2 years and it really handcuffed him. Players aren't really doing that. You're seeing Kevin Durant even kind of has taken a pay cut to stay with Golden State because Steph Curry makes so much money and Draymond Green makes so much money. So, and I'm sure, seeing Wade with LeBron, like, I don't know, I just saw this video. They had a preseason game and they do really go together like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
And it's nice. I'm a Wade fan, so it's nice to see Wade happy. I know it's in Cleveland and it's whatever.
Right. It stings a little bit, but also, and he even expressed so much that he would eventually uniform. But you have to think about this current Heat roster. Like, where does he fit in there as a shooting guard? How many do we have? 3?
Right.
That we're paying tons of money. Like, and so in order to create it, we would have had to say, okay, Josh Richardson, okay, Tyler Johnson, okay, Dion Waiters. Like, hey, everybody, now you guys get to all ride the bench together.
Right.
So I think
rational thinker here.
Best thing for both.
Well, I'm gonna be the irrational thinker and just be upset about it.
Yeah.
It does sting for me, and I think it sucks. So.
Okay. Well, he wasn't on the Heat last year, so I'm already used to him not being on the Heat.
Right.
So
in that sense,
I don't know.
It's less stingy.
Hey. Right, and I'm all about anyone who can kind of get together and give this Warriors team a run. So if Wade wants to go have fun with his buddy LeBron up in Cleveland, you know what? I'm not mad about it because I haven't been on the Heat for a year. So at this point,
you guys are being real adults about it, and that's needed, and I appreciate that.
I could really care less where Wade plays. Look, the NBA is different for me in terms of like I would hate for, Juice to go play for the Patriots or the Jets. In basketball, like, if you're not playing for the Heat, I don't care who you're playing for.
Yeah, I mean, I think that probably if he would have left Miami to go directly to Cleveland, it might have stung a little bit more. But like you said, he's already been in Chicago a year. Like I said, he doesn't fit on the roster. It wasn't really an option for him to come back here. Not right now. I think that he'll come back eventually, even if it's for a one-day contract where he puts the jersey on and they retire it, like, out of the arena.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, hey, go play for the Cavs. That's fine.
All right, so now it's my turn for my hot take. And I have nothing else to say other than the fact that there's no argument that can be brought up to me about who is going to be the National League MVP. There's one name and one name only, and it's Giancarlo Stanton. That's my hot take. I want to try to see somebody try to convince me otherwise or bring up a decent conversation about it. He was 2 out of the 3 triple crown stats. He had him in a bag. There's nobody better than him in baseball right now, and I really hope that the Marlins get to keep him. Quick.
Yes, I hope the Marlins do keep him. It'll be very pricey, but there's not really a salary cap in baseball. So if this Jeter team wants to start coughing up some money, they need some players. I don't really have stats in front of me for other NL players. I do know like the Rockies. Otto had a really great year, but are the Rockies in the playoffs?
The only other guys that can be in the conversation right now are from Cincinnati, Joey Votto, or Charlie Blackmon, the center fielder, like you mentioned, from the Rockies. And they're nowhere near. Joey Votto's been doing what he's been doing for his whole career, just being really, within the top 5 of every single stat. But Stan, top dog.
I've got your NL MVP right here. Recently retired Pittsburgh Pirate outfielder John Jaso.
John Jaso. Tell us why he's your NL MVP.
He is my NL MVP, not only because of his luxurious dreadlocked ponytail hair that he wore underneath his helmet and hat, but he decided and go live on a sailboat. Told the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette that he wanted to travel, live simply, be anonymous, that sort of stuff. Really, I just want to live a simple life. I have a sailboat, so I just want to go sail away. MVP right there, buddy.
There you go. MVP of life. Just
sail off into the sunset on a boat.
Sailing off into the sunset.
That's hard to argue.
Okay, so Manny's MVP race is led by Giancarlo. I can't really argue. All I know is his team missed the playoffs by a lot.
Look, another hot take. Yeah, that doesn't matter, But another hot take, real quick, is that there's going to be the first wild card game starts at 8:00 tonight. Right? It's going to be the Yankees versus Minnesota. Everybody's really counting. Everybody's all in on the Yankees. I think they have a good squad. They're going to have a decent pitcher on the mound tonight, but I wouldn't put a choke past them. I don't want to count out Minnesota. I think Minnesota has a really hot pitcher going on the mound. Irvin Santana is going to go out there and shut those baby bombers up.
Okay. I thought we were going to do – all right, we're going to have more baseball playoff talk in the third segment.
There's a lot.
Manny couldn't yeah, that's okay. We should go to break because we do have a lot more to get to. And unless you have any more quick hits.
One more, Coleman.
I would like to mention that my alma mater, the UCF Knights, are currently undefeated and broke into the top 25.
When was the last time they were in the top 25? Bortles?
The year that they won the Fiesta Bowl?
Yeah.
Over Baylor?
Oh, yeah. They were, top 25. They were like top 10.
Yeah. I don't recall exactly what it was, but in the years after that, and I would like to just, let you know that 2 years ago, UCF failed to win a single football game in the 2015 season. And now?
Do you remember that? Right around when the Browns performed that same task.
Go Knights.
Go Knights, he says.
We will go to break and then come back with baseball playoffs and some segments like Simple Jack.
Now trending.
Okay, welcome back. The couch. Last segment, one more segment before we wrap up the show. The last segment is brought to you by Now Trending, news with a twist every Monday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. live on 24/7 Miami Radio, 7miamiradio.com. You can find that on the TuneIn app as well, 24/7 Miami. Follow them on Twitter at Now Trending. That's Now Trending. Now Trending. And we will get into some baseball talk. We're going to talk a little bit of baseball, but
I'm going to take a nap.
Before I do need you right now for something, because before we get to baseball talk, we're going to get to hockey talk.
Oh, that's right.
Coleman, real quick, talk a little bit of hockey.
We have hockey news here, okay? The NHL regular season starts tomorrow.
Okay, regular season starts tomorrow.
That was hockey news.
That's talking hockey. So the baseball playoffs kick off, I should say, pitch. Whatever. The baseball playoffs start tonight. Wild card games, these winner go homes, game sevens. It's already game 7 for these guys. I'm not quite sure. I'm still working out my feelings for these games. It kind of feels like the play-in game in the NCAA tournament. But so tonight, Yankees Twins. Twins made the playoffs despite losing their division games to the Cleveland Indians. It's kind of an interesting stat there. Manny already touched on that. He thinks that Yankees are choke artists. Right, Manny?
I mean, look, listen here. There's very little that's better than playoff baseball. And I don't always think that the best team wins. And even though on paper the Yankees do have the better lineup, they definitely have the better bullpen. It's about who stands up in the moment that it counts. I hate their catcher. Gary Sanchez is a bum. He doesn't know how to play defense. They have to move him around. They got to put him in the outfield because they can't do anything with his bat. All right. They need the bat in the lineup because they suck otherwise. And Judge, I mean, look, hot take. Judge strikes out 3 times tonight. 3 times Judge is striking out tonight.
But how many homers?
I don't know. If they don't win tonight, then I guess he's done, bud.
That's how it works. The other game is what?
The other game is Arizona and Colorado, and that's tomorrow. That's the other wild card game. It's for the NL.
Wow. Arizona, Colorado. Could you name 2 more teams that I don't care about?
How about can I name a single player on either one of those teams?
I cannot.
Isn't there like a Goldhammer or Goldfarb?
Goldschmidt.
Is he there?
Yeah, he's on the Diamondbacks.
What
I think
about-
they're just
Goldschmidt. He's the first baseman. Listen here, man. I'll give you everything you need to know about that game. All right. It's going to be a way better game than the one tonight is going to be. I'll tell you that much. And that game is going to be Zach Greinke dominating those Rockies. Look, Rockies are probably the better team, but Arizona's hot, and they got the best pitcher that night pitching. So
here's what else I know about the baseball playoffs. I know that the Dodgers won a lot of games. I know that the Cleveland Indians won a heck ton of games in a row. So I know those 2 teams are really good. You know what? Boom. There's my World Series. Indians. You heard it here.
that's not, even though you reached the same conclusion as me, obviously mine was a little bit more meticulous and probably a little bit more measured than whatever you just said. But
Numbers, Manny. I'm just using the numbers.
I like those 2 squads in the World Series also. Unfortunately, I think Cleveland's probably the best team and set up probably to do the best. So, I mean, unfortunately,
How do the Cubs look going into the playoffs?
I think the Cubs aren't going to make it. The Nats, okay, barring this Max Scherzer, he's got a little hamstring issue that he's working with, and it might affect their rotation, but I think they have enough pitching to get them through the series. The Cubs aren't the same team they were last year. But again, it's, they're young and they're energetic, and they won't stop playing until the last pitch is thrown. So you never know what's going to happen. The series that I'm really, really, really excited to watch is going to be the Houston-Boston series. Obviously, I'm a big Red Sox fan, but aside from that, Houston's the hottest team in baseball right now, and they're really good. They have the AL MVP. There's no question about it. It's got to be the little second baseman, Jose Altuve. And that series, what's going to be cool about that series is because, yeah, albeit that Houston is the best team in baseball, you take them – You look at the Cubs 2 years ago, and it's the same deal. They're a way better team, but I don't think they have enough experience. Boston might get them with the experience, even though they're not the better team.
Okay, very interesting. So your World Series champ before the playoff starts is
Cleveland Indians, unfortunately.
Cleveland Indians. So Manny's got World Series. Has joined up with LeBron and went from like the crappiest sports town in the whole world to like one of the best pretty quickly.
And now they have Deshaun
Kaiser. Wow, they are really on the rise, dude. Deshaun Kaiser. My favorite one thing that LeBatard is always mentioning that I think is really funny. LeBatard like really hates Brian Kelly. Kelly's kind of an asshole that is always blaming everyone else, and Brian Kelly talks like he's like not doing anything wrong, and LeBatard always wants to mention how Brian Kelly went 4-8 last year with a quarterback that starts in the NFL this year.
Name?
Yeah, he's still the coach. Someone died on his watch, and he's still the coach there.
Interesting.
Notre Dame, right?
Brian Kelly had his team out there practicing in tropical storm force winds, I believe. And some guy up on a boom lift.
Oh yeah, it collapsed.
It fell and he died. All right. We will wrap up the show with everyone's favorite segment. It's definitely my favorite segment. Jack.
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
Goodbye, Mama. Now you can have ice cream in heaven. I'll see you tonight when I go to bed in my head movies. But this head movie makes my eyes rain.
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
Ladies and gents, welcome back to what is commonly referred to as Gloria Estefan's favorite segment.
Nice.
Oh, okay. I'm interested.
This week's edition of Simple Jack comes to us courtesy of the Sebastian Daily out of Vero Beach, Florida. And that's why it's Gloria Estefan's favorite, because she has a house there.
She does have a house there. Wow, look at you.
How
A
insightful.
40-year-old man week for exposing himself behind a popular beachfront restaurant. Vero Beach police received a phone call from a woman saying a man was fondling himself in a bush directly behind Waldo's restaurant. The victim said she was sitting on the beach and noticed the man a few yards away staring at her. Minutes later, he got up, went to the nearby bush, removed his shorts, injuring himself. Called the police, who arrived and confronted the man, who said, "That lady is full of bleep. I ain't never seen that bleep in my life." Charged with exposure of sexual organ. Out that the lady was a retired Justice Department agent. Since 2007, the man has been arrested 15 times in Vero Beach for charges including disorderly conduct, disorderly intoxication, and trespassing. So they took her word for it, not his.
Right. What, the former judge or cop or something. Side note, I noticed a trend in your Simple Jacks. I think we're going to have to change the name of the segment to the jerk off hour or something. But
yeah, there's a lot of naked homeless dudes on your Simple Jack.
Yeah, I mean, it happens, it's.
So what, you said he was just staring at her and then went around to a bush. So he got some mental pictures, probably undressed her in his mind. And then
I think he was staring at her while he was doing it.
Yeah, what a champ.
Oh,
to sort of like get himself a little bit of cover, and then just started going to town.
Nice.
He was
so
looking for a
there on the beach.
Yeah, and if you're on the beach, I'm sure the girl was probably wearing a bikini, and you know what? She was probably asking for it.
Mhm.
You know, you're gonna wear something like that. I'm kidding.
I know.
I'm totally kidding. That was
Yeah,
bad, Jeff.
who knows? That's debatable, Matt.
there was I have a lot of NFL notes here that we didn't even touch on because time on this show and kind of rushed it.
That's okay. We can go back to the NFL. We still got a
Well,
few.
look, I actually wanted to ask you guys a question.
Here you go. You take over.
Go, Manny.
So there were a couple. We saw a couple backups this past NFL weekend, right? So who do you think is more screwed, the Titans or the Raiders?
The Titans.
I would say the Raiders because Marcus Mariota already is day to day, and they said that they believe that he might even be able to play this Sunday. Derek Carr ain't coming back in 2 weeks. He broke something in his back.
All right, fine. All right, fine. With that information, yeah, obviously the Titans are in better shape. But I thought you were just saying like if both QBs are out.
Well, don't forget that what Mariota went out with was a hamstring, so you know how those are. That thing can come back at any moment in time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but a broken back seems to be pretty bad as well.
But you know what?
Broken backs are bad.
Okay, yeah, fine. The Titans will be better off because Mariota is going to come back sooner than Derek Carr.
But
if they were both if we're talking like just theoretically, they're both out, the Raiders are still the better team built around a backup quarterback with defense and I was going to say running game, but that Titans running game is pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know. Like the Raiders sort of confound me a little bit. Like, I don't understand what happened to them when they played the Redskins. Obviously, playing the Broncos is a different animal. They have a really good defense, probably the best defense in the NFL. And I say, like, Marshawn Lynch is not terribly effective running the ball. He's okay. Bring it to, like, Kareem Hunt or Dalvin Cook before he tore his ACL or something like that. It's like.
Right, and I think people got enamored by Marshawn. Marshawn Lynch is a kind of bigger than life, bigger than football kind of being character.
I love him. You know what I mean? Right, I think he's awesome.
I do too, but I think when he came back, coming back to the Raiders, which, it is a good team, but I think everyone thought that Marshawn was just going to rush for 1,300 yards.
Right.
And he was drafted high in some fantasy leagues, and he looks old. He looks like he's a running back that's over the age of 30.
How long do you think Eli Manning stays a New York Giant?
I would agree with that.
What kind of question was that?
What do you mean, what kind of question was that?
Have you heard any rumors of Eli Manning going anywhere?
He's 0-4. He sucks.
That happens every year with the Giants. And then, they reel off 10 wins in a row, make the playoffs.
They're going to end up 10-6.
I think it's really bad this time.
I think it is. They need a running back. Here's what needs to happen. The Saints need to trade Adrian Peterson to the Giants. The Giants need to run. I'm not saying Adrian Peterson is the answer, but Adrian Peterson can't be worse than Paul Perkins and Wayne Gallman. I don't know what the issue is. Their defense is supposed to be really good. Eli Manning is he's Eli Manning. He's still, he's a good quarterback. He's a 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterback who should be able to find weapons like Odell Beckham, Brandon Marshall, and Sterling Shepard. So I really don't know what's going on over there other than, I do know what's going on over there. The O-line is awful.
And Ben McAdoo decided to start slicking his hair back before Eli Manning is gone.
Ben McAdoo looks like he kind of got fat too. Like they kept going. The shots of Ben McAdoo on the sideline, he just looked like this like frumpy, like he didn't look the part.
Another thing I wanted to touch on with you guys was how awful, and I know this is taking it back to back to week 1, but how awful in comparison to what we've seen, okay? How awful was that Rex Ryan Monday night game compared to what we're seeing from Tony Romo? Tony Romo's CBS, I think he's phenomenal. He's a guru. I love him.
Tony Romo is doing fine. What's this whole thing where he's calling out every play. Like, okay, we get it. You used to play quarterback. I'm sure most former quarterbacks can do something similar to that. I don't know why everyone's all enamored with his ability to see an inside fade coming, but
Well, it's not that more than maybe his personality just shining through the camera, bud.
But you were correct about and that lady.
Yeah, I don't even know what her
I don't
name
know
is.
her name eludes me. Rex Ryan. I'm not sold on Rex Ryan at ESPN. He kind of talks real monotone yet. Like maybe he needs to like break out of his like TV shell, but kind of talks monotone. And I'm not loving Rex Ryan on TV.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm not a fan. I'm a fan of Tony Romo. I'm not like enamored with the idea that he's calling out the plays. I actually kind of like wish that he would tone it down a little bit. But I'm fine with it. I think he's doing a good job. A lot of people are like really annoyed with it though. Like even I think somebody that works for ESPN came out and was like, no,
Well,
I don't approve of that because defenses are going to get tired of it. Like coaches are going to hate that. They're going to be relaying signals as if they're going to be able to like warp it down into the players' helmets with 1 second of accuracy before the ball is snapped.
I don't think that's the biggest issue. I don't think there's really an issue with it at all. More than I'm just like, all right, Tony, you're just bragging about how football smart you are.
Yeah.
Like
That's awesome.
The audience doesn't know what he means by watch for the inside fade from Coleman. Doesn't know what that means.
But you get the same kind of thing from John Gruden too. You know what I mean? The spider 2Y banana, blah blah blah. It's not as prevalent as it is with Tony Romo, but he does the same kind of thing.
Tony Romo is doing it almost every play. Though.
And that's
watch for the run left here. Watch for the run right here. It's
that's
like,
why
okay,
I said,
bro.
Maybe
Can we talk real quick right before the show ends about how jacked John Gruden's son is? Because he's huge.
Thanks, coach.
Used to be an Olympic lifter.
Talk about it. You said you wanted to talk about it.
Well, I mean, he's huge. I just wanted to make that comment. Thought he was jacked.
That's good radio.
Yeah.
Okay. So, final NFL note before we get out of here. Last game that I got on here that we haven't touched on was Lions-Vikings, which is a game of the, two teams trying to like break through. It's like
mediocre football.
We think the Lions are good. We think the Vikings are good. Vikings had to win it. The Lions won it 14-7. They staved off the Case Keenum-led Vikings, which, hey, Case Keenum's not that bad. They'll win some ball games with Case Keenum. I don't think they're going to win. I don't think they'll make the playoffs with Case Keenum, let alone win a playoff game with Case Keenum.
I think they said Bradford might be on his way back.
And they're talking about Teddy Bridgewater.
I don't know what's going to happen with that situation.
Well, I don't know what's going to happen with it, but they're saying he's like almost ready to get back to practice.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a little one more note. You saw that the Panthers beat the Patriots 33-30. Do you think that Cam Newton is fixed, or is the New England Patriots defense just that bad?
I will say the Patriots defense is very bad. I don't think that Cam Newton is fixed. I think Cam Newton got healthy.
What I mean.
Right, yeah. He had that shoulder surgery, and I think he didn't play a single snap in the preseason. It was going to take him a few, which it did, to shake some rust off. But what I think is huge for the Carolina offense is Devin Funches needs to be really good. Kelvin Benjamin, he's a good wide receiver, but he's slow and doesn't have great hands. And also he can't take over an offense. Devin Funches needs to step up, and then yes, that Carolina offense is good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that Carolina's clear just yet.
He's an
amazing football player, and he's bound to have a good game. But I didn't trust that game. Patriots defense is off.
Couch on this simulcast edition. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Peace.